All right, so thank you for joining the Healing Circle today. And it seems like I'm doing the thing here, but that's an illusion. I'm not doing it at all. So you're as much doing this as I do. And that makes it so, yeah, great, wonderful, and also easy. That's really lovely. So you determine what's going to happen today. And of course, it seems like I choose pieces or I choose parts and all this, but don't let yourself be fooled. You're doing this to yourself. Like, this is your invitation. This is what you wanted to happen today in this specific moment. And today that's going to be contemplation. It's going to be a deep healing study. Really going to the nitty-gritty of healing, you could say. It's like going to the basics of why healing is necessary in the first place, of what the illusion of sickness is for. So how can you be healed if you don't know what sickness is for? So yeah, you have to check out what sickness really is in order for it to see that you don't need it, and you can let go of it. So that's of course easy said, but this is completely connected to your own individual experience, and that is why this is very lovely to share this with one another, and to have moments together that you can exchange a little bit about your experience, that what is happening with you, that what is possible in this moment, that what unites us in a certain sense. Like, there's an active offering of healing to one another, and we do this in different ways. Like, one of them is totally respecting each other and listening, a listening attitude, receiving what is being shared, receiving it in such a way that it's totally received. What happens if it's totally received? You join in where it goes beyond too. So that is really an occurrence that I see happen so many times. Like, if you totally receive this in the quiet, in the quiet of God's love, then it is healed. Then it isn't what it appeared to be. In that sense, you can say, like, every call for healing is a call for love, and that's what it says in the Course too. We will hear that too. So today, using a very specific lesson, 136, as a new experience, not as an old experience, or not as, oh, that's always such a difficult blah blah. No, this is a brand new lesson given to us today, which it is not the lesson of today, but it is a lesson that you had 3 days ago. But so great to use in this moment together in our healing circle, because it literally helps you to see what you don't want without making it complicated for yourself, without attacking yourself with what is being shared, but in the total receptivity that is yours, when you release your ideas about what you think is going on, or what you think is yours, or what you think you should defend, or anything like that. So the healing capacity of this meeting and this what's being shared is literally unlimited, and so that you should realize, like, that's really great. That's an incredible gift we extend to one another, and that's why it's really, yeah, amazing opportunity here to join with one another. Now, to prepare ourselves for it, we use the way of stillness, of meditation, of maybe a bit of music, but more like, there's coming to yourself, relaxation, breathing, but also releasing the idea that there is something outside of you that can influence you, or that is screaming at you for attention, or that you think you need to deal with, or any of those ideas you can release in this moment to give your mind the proper quiet so that your consciousness opens to all possibilities, instead of only the possibilities that you see with your eyes or think with your mind. Oh, there's all possibilities. In this all possibilities, you in fact are opening up for a whole new experience that literally you couldn't get to if your mind wasn't open. So that's exactly what we're going to do now, preparing ourselves literally for a miracle mindedness, to open our hearts and minds, to become still and enter into a listening attitude. So we are entering into a stillness that has nothing to do with this world. But it's deep within you and it's alive. Sharing with you these words that are given. More like in the yes, of course. As a confirmation. Sickness is a defense against the truth. I will accept the truth of what I am and let my mind be wholly healed today. I will accept the truth of what I am and let my mind be wholly healed today. Healing will flash across your open mind as peace and truth arise to take the place of war and vain imaginings. There will be no dark corners sickness can conceal and keep defended from the light of truth. There will be no dim figures from your dreams, nor their obscure and meaningless pursuits with double purposes, insanely sought, remaining in your mind. It will be healed of all the sickly wishes that it tried to authorize the body to obey. I will accept the truth of what I am and let my mind be wholly healed today. Healing will flash across your open mind as peace and truth arise to take the place of war and vain imaginings. There will be no dark corners sickness can conceal and keep defended from the light of truth. There will be no dim figures from your dreams, nor their obscure and meaningless pursuits with double purposes, insanely sought, remaining in your mind. It will be healed of all the sickly wishes that it tried to authorize the body to obey.
La maladie est une défense contre la vérité. J'accepterai la vérité de ce que je suis et je laisserai mon esprit être entièrement guéri aujourd'hui. La guérison jaillira de votre esprit ouvert, tandis que la paix et la vérité surgiront pour remplacer la guerre et les vaines imaginations. Il n'y aura plus de recoins obscurs que la maladie puisse dissimuler et protéger de la lumière de la vérité. Plus aucune figure obscure de vos rêves, ni leur quête obscure et dénuée de sens, au double objectif follement recherché, ne subsisteront dans votre esprit. Il sera guéri de tous les désirs malsains qu'il tentait d'autoriser le corps à obéir.
Okay, let's be still with this. All right, thank you so much for joining in the meditation. And so we continue. This was like the meditation for the 40 days on day 20, halfway, whatever that means. You see, like how it really doesn't matter, but if it tells you something, that's fine with me too. But I really love the idea still of the 40 days, because the intensity of meeting and the frequency of it are very, inspiring to me. To keep coming back to this on a daily basis is the practice. Now here you might as well share moments together in your in your development, in your transformation. This is in that sense always a unique occurrence, because this time you share with one another, and that might change. It is never the same, that's for sure. So in order to have this continue being completely new, I want to today, for instance, use a lesson of Course in Miracles. I used this last time too, I remember that. But today it is so focused on healing, on it's like discovering what actually sickness is, in order to release the ideas connected to the idea of sickness. You first have to know what it is, and it's bigger than you think, in the sense like it's much more, you could say, human identity, or the whole sense of self that you have, the whole definition of self that you see as yourself, is what sickness is what time is what delay is what defense is what all of this. So it's all encompassing, you could say. It's a total package of the whole thought system, and that whole thought system is you say apply it on a daily basis, but it's based on not knowing who you are. Now luckily then, at least some time of the day, for instance now, like some time of the day, you open your mind for something else. And you practice this during the day too, of course, with the lessons. Like you practice this, you have your spiritual practice. But you see, this is just a part of the day that you do that. Like there's a little segment where you practice it, seriously practice it, go into that. Or maybe you decided to dedicate yourself to it and say spend more time doing so, or allowing deeper experiences to come to you. That's wonderful. Now this is not really measurable, except for the fact, like it doesn't it is not about spending so many hours doing it. It is not being present in every meeting. It is not about all the outer things, you could say, that you normally would see as your confirmation of your commitment to it. Of course, you're welcome to join all the time, absolutely. But see, what do you do when you're not here in this class, for instance? What do you do? How do you spend your time? Where is your focus? What is going on for you? You only can answer that question. And that determines, in fact, where you find yourself. So these moments that we come together are important because literally there's a possibility to open up to something else. And say with a joint purpose, we join in the one purpose. So that has an incredible power. And we use that to in fact, confirm our commitment, to deepen our the possibilities of release, to deepen the experience that we have, to see demonstrations of the possibility that is completely trustworthy. It's also another part. So this all is part of what we do here. Now today, using lesson 136, I use it very specifically, simply because this is a lesson that can easily be used against yourself. If you look for an outcome, if you look for an application in the dream itself, then you're probably going to attack yourself with it, because the lesson is, like sickness is defense against the truth. Now I can have a judgment about myself that I'm defending against the truth if I have symptoms of sickness. This is not what is meant here in that sense. Like the temptation to directly apply it into your three-dimensional idea of yourself is the mistake with all of this. So this is an invitation to allow healing to flash across your mind. This is not a lesson to implement in your daily life to confirm that you're defending the truth and that is the hopeless situation that you're in now. You're a victim of your own mind. That's not the case. So I've seen it many times, specifically with this lesson. That's why I released that idea. I leave that behind. That's why I say this is a brand new lesson. And you never heard it like this before. That's why it's going to be helpful. Now, that's why I'm going through the first 7 paragraphs or something, just to spell it out, to really take a good look at it, what it actually says. Like the source is loveliness. The source is not an opposing force that is attacking you. In this is the same as what we saw in this earlier meeting that we had. The loveliness where this comes from is literally within you. This loveliness is the place that you allow yourself, moments by moments, to actually experience it. Now this can open up to your full extent, to your full experience of yourself. Like, let yourself be tempted to connect deeply with the loveliness within you, because that is what this is about. Like what we read in the Miracle Impulses, like you can create an empty shell. This is like an illusion. This is the ideas that you hold about yourself. You can easily make something and upset yourself with it. This happens in your mind when you get ideas about your physicality. This you get when you have ideas about the world that you live in, that you seem to be living in. This in the relationships that don't seem to be working out, or this in all the sickness and death that you're confronted with during your day. All that can lead to it's like creating an empty shell, literally confirming to you in fact that nothingness is reality. That's an empty shell. And it has no reality. So that's why this is the invitation to allow healing to flash across your mind. Literally, it's going to be radiated right into your mind for you to have an experience with it. Not to have great ideas about it. No, to come directly to the experience of healing. That's what this is about. Like the confirmation that you hear what is being shared here is your new experience of yourself. Literally allowing yourself to come to the loveliness that is within you. That is the provision, or that's the offer in this meeting. Sickness is a defense against the truth. No one can heal unless he understands what purpose sickness seemed to serve. For then he understands as well its purpose has no meaning. So if you understand what the purpose that sickness seems to serve, then you understand immediately too that its purpose has no meaning. Now this is as if Jesus is playing a game with you. Now you have to figure out, he's activating your mind. He says, okay, I'm not going to tell you what the purpose is, but you discover it. By literally coming in touch with it, you actually start to know what the purpose of sickness seems to serve. Yeah, so what is it then? What is the purpose of sickness that sickness seems to serve? How? You could say, like, where can you use it well for? What would be great to use it for, sickness? This is really, that's a great question. I'm gonna write it down. Purpose of sickness. Where could you use it for? Now this you have been thinking about, I know for sure. So, being causeless, and without a meaningful intent of any kind, it cannot be at all. When this is seen, healing is automatic, right? If you see what you're doing, with what purpose it seems to serve, then it starts to make no sense at all, and healing is automatic. It dispels the meaningless illusion by the same approach which carries all illusions of them, to the truth, and merely leaves them there to disappear. Yeah, that makes perfect sense so far. If you have a question, just chat or ask it later, something like this. But the most of the answers are going to be in this already. Sickness is not an accident. Like there's a reason for it that it happens. Like all defenses, it is an insane device for self-deception. Well, there's the purpose. It is an insane device for self-deception. And like all the rest, its purpose is to hide reality and do something with it. What do you do with reality? Attack it, change it, render it inept, distort it, twist it, or reduce it to a little pile of unassembled parts. The aim of all defenses is to keep the truth from being whole. Separating in little parts would be the fantastic thing. My liver is not working today, my lungs are not working today, my heart is not working today, my brain is not working today, my little toe is not working today, and my ears are not working today. That's for sure. That's for sure. No. So it's like all that, you separate it in little parts to at least not let it be whole. Imagine that your body would be whole and perfect. The aim of all defenses is to keep the truth from being whole. The parts are seen as if they each one were whole within themselves, and even with an own mind. It can do its own thing, and it doesn't seem to have anything to do with anything else. So yeah, that's a real good device for self-deception. If that is what you want, this is the way to do it. Defenses are not unintentional, nor are they made without awareness. They are secret magic wands you wave when truth appears to threaten what you would believe. It's like your little magic trick that you play with yourself. They seem to be unconscious because of the rapidity with which you choose to use them. In that second, even less, in which the choice is made, you recognize exactly what you would attempt to do and then proceed to think that it is done. Okay, what does this say? They say they are defenses. We're talking about defenses here. Defenses seem to be unconscious because of the rapidity with which you choose to use them. They're so quick that you don't even recognize it as something. In that split second, even less, in which the choice is made, you recognize exactly what you would attempt to do and then proceed to think that it is done. Okay, now we skip one paragraph. Who but yourself evaluates a threat, decides escape is necessary, and sets up a series of defenses to reduce the threat that has been judged as real? All this cannot be done unconsciously, but afterwards your plan requires that you must forget you made it. So it seems to be external to your own intent, a happening beyond your state of mind, an outcome with a real effect on you instead of one affected by yourself. And you probably really don't remember it. For a moment at least. Sickness is a decision. It is not a thing that happens to you quite unsought, which makes you weak and brings you suffering. It is a choice you make, a plan you lay when, for an instant, truth arises in your own deluded mind, and all your world appears to totter and prepare to fall. Can you feel that? See what happens? Now you are sick, that truth may go away and threaten your establishments no more. How do you think that sickness can succeed in shielding you from truth? Because it proves the body is not separate from you, and so you must be separate from the truth. Now you are sick, that truth may go away and threaten your establishments no more. How do you think that sickness can succeed in shielding you from the truth? Because it proves the body is not separate from you, and so you must be separate from the truth. In other words, you have identified with the body. You suffer pain because the body does, and in this pain are you made one with it. Thus is your true identity preserved, and the strange haunting thought that you might be something beyond this little pile of dust silenced and stilled. For see, this dust can make you suffer, twist your limbs and stop your heart, commanding you to die and cease to be. Thus is the body stronger than the truth, which asks you to live but cannot overcome your choice to die, and so the body is more powerful than everlasting life, heaven more frail than hell, and God's design for the salvation of his Son opposed by a decision stronger than his will. His Son is dust, and the Father incomplete, and chaos sits in triumph on his throne. Okay, so here's a question. How does this sit with Joel's teaching that sickness has nothing to do with us, but an impersonal temptation from universal mind? Yeah, that's right. It's like that is a difficulty because of the term that he uses, universal mind, as if there is an impersonal universal mind with all human ideas. And that has nothing to do with you. See, that is the part that doesn't fly with A Course in Miracles. Because we say, like, no, I'm thinking these thoughts. In order to come to the change of mind, I need to see them as myself. I need to literally take them in as my own ideas. I need to recognize that I'm thinking these thoughts. Because if I'm thinking these thoughts, I'm also able to change my mind about it. I'm able to allow a change to occur in which there's a shift of consciousness. Now that is what Joel says too, but he says it in a different way. But using the universal mind as a reference for human thoughts, for your thoughts of human reference. There's a word for it. Frame of reference, human frame of reference. Who is thinking these thoughts? I am thinking these thoughts because I am literally valuing them. The thoughts are just ideas that float around, you could say, in a cloud of human thoughts. That's all right. But I have given them meaning. That's why I see them. That's why I trust them. That's why I think they are worthy going for it. So the universal mind is like, well, that's like all the thoughts, sure. But I individually have given them value. Now I've made them my own, given my own twist about it. And seeing that I'm using all this against the truth, because the whole thought basically is, the whole thought that comes to me is the threat of eternal life, the threat of love. I've literally become afraid of love. That's why this is occurring. So, yeah, that makes it not so easy to... I'm happy that you asked the question, don't get me wrong. But it is like, here's a vocabulary a little bit different. Because the whole idea of universal mind in the Course in Miracles would be the universal mind of Christ. And like the unified Christ mind. And as an idea of God, it doesn't have any own ideas. No, it's an idea of God. That's universal. That is what unites us. That's what makes it whole. That's what makes your mind whole. The thoughts that you are thinking are not real thoughts at all. So the thoughts that you are thinking are ideas about a self that doesn't exist, are meaningless by nature, like it doesn't have an origin. So if you describe universal mind as a cloud of thoughts without an origin, then you might come closer to understanding it from a Joel Goldsmith point of view. But for now, we're using the Course in Miracles in this because of the whole setup of salvation. Like this salvation cannot take place if you don't accept these thoughts as coming from you. You have given them value. So that places it within you. That makes you see that you're the one thinking them. That also makes it possible that you can see them for what they are, recognizing their causelessness. The universal mind, I could say, a universal mind of human ideas without a cause. Your ideas are coming from there. You have given them meaning, but now you take that back. You release those values that you have given. You release the idea of identifying with them. So what remains is that when, like, literally you allow the healing to occur in that. Now I'll come back to you about it. Like it will return. It will return a little bit more because of I have to get started here with where we left off. But this at least is an answer. So sickness then. So like you have used sickness. We read this. Like you have used sickness to separate yourself off, to prove to God that you're separate, or to prove to yourself, of course, that you're separate. And why would you do that? For this one moment, you forgot to laugh about this crazy idea that you could be separate. And that moment that you thought you could be separate was instantaneously was healed, was corrected. It went by too fast for heaven to notice it. But still, we live in this sense of self. We live in an echo of that one mistake. So coming back to the idea of sickness. Sickness is the temptation to think that there are separate parts. And this you can see in your body, this you can see in your relationships, thinking that there's someone else doing something to you, or that you like some but you don't like all, this one you like specially, and this one you don't like that much. Like this is a form of separation, to make it special. It is literally the basis of human thinking, to see it all for separate parts. Ask a doctor what is going on with you. He will dissect it into every cell, every gland, every part of your body to confirm that these are separate parts. They don't have anything to do with one another except that they are in one body. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, so the confirmation is always there in that, until you recognize that that does not have a source. But that's a deep one. Like recognizing that sickness doesn't have a source, then you go already deep in it. Because you start to recognize, what could possibly be sick if I'm as God created me? What could possibly be sick? That must be impossible. And yet I experience, this is the paradox where I find myself, yet I experience myself as having certain, whatever things are occurring. Like I get proof in my body, in my physicality, that something is wrong. Now what am I going to do? I feel pain. Now what am I going to do? This is very common, of course. So, and you can't remember that you inflicted that on yourself, that you were the cause of this that is happening. Because it went too quickly, it was covered up too quickly. And that's why you can't see it. So it really seems to come from somewhere else. It's the body doing itself, like it's doing it to itself. And you literally are a victim of your own body. This is the ultimate confirmation of you as a separate identity. Now it can go so far that you will die, that your body will die, and you, as identified with the body, will in fact surrender into that, confirming that you are a body and that God lost his son. As it says in the text, like God loses his son, he failed to keep everything together. So he's like literally, chaos is on the throne, and God is ashamed about his creation, something like this. See, that is a nightmare scenario that has nothing to do with reality, but is very commonly thought in the world. So there's a whole, excusez le mot, so, in my good French, excusez le mot, there's a whole circus of medical society, medical, all this, to confirm this continuously. Now, that's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. Like that has become a common thought in human mind. A common thought. Like if you don't use any medication, you're an exception. That's very special in a sense. Well, that doesn't make any sense either. So we go, like I said, we go really deep into this by this lesson. But I actually want to stay for a moment in this pain point. Say, like I can go take one step further and immediately go into the release of this. But why not hang out here for a moment and see what it actually is that you're believing? So this is the possibility we have here. Now, in the sharing that we're going to do, like in that, what we share with one another, what you share, what you express, you can do that, of course, in your own way. What you express it with the intention of letting it go, not to receive. And this is the same for whoever's listening to you. Not to confirm it, not to cooperate in it. Cooperation in the sense of confirming it to one another and declaring it as true. No, just allowing it to be shared, to be released. So this is the healing part of it, is allow what comes up for you to share. Whether it's your symptoms that you are suffering, whether it's who knows what kind of conflict you carry in your heart, in your mind. Share it with the intention for it to be released. And hear it from your brother. Literally, like with open arms, completely receiving it, in order so we never have to touch it again in a sense, like to have it be completely handed over into light, into love, into receptivity.